Hi, my name is June, or more commonly known as Nostalgia Memoir on Instagram. Today I'm here to review two LED Fender Elimination kits for Triumph Thruxtons. Full reviews and photo galleries are available on www.sideros.com. Go visit our site and subscribe. Link is in the description below. So today I'll be comparing Analog's Thruxton Tidy Taillight, or 3T, and Motobox's LED Slimline kit for Thruxton, Scrambler, and Bonneville. Fender Elimination kits, or FEK, are for getting rid of the horrible looking fenders on a Triumph. There are many different ways you can eliminate your fender, but the main component in performing FEK is installing a streamlined taillight. Before I go into the comparison of the two kits, here's a lineup of the lights I've used over the last 2 years on my Thruxton. First is British Customs Red Cat Eye Fender Removal on the far left. This is one of the very first mod I did on my Thruxton 2 years ago. At the time when I was researching FEK, this was the best and cheapest option. This full FEK setup by British Custom is about $160. The reason why it's so cheap is because it's not an LED. So if you're looking for something on a budget, this is the way to go. Next is the Motobox old version. Motobox reached out to me over a year ago and asked me to test their lights out. So for about a year I used their lights. I used this light on my bike and loved it. It looks great and had no issues, but just this month they released an updated model of it, which is the next one, the new Motobox taillight. This is the updated model that I'll be going over today, along with Analog's FEK. On the right, this is Analog's 3T FEK, which is the one I'll be reviewing today along with Motobox's new light. So these are the taillights I'll be reviewing today, and there are 3 on display right now because the 2 on the left are Motobox's FEK, both old and new, and the one on the right is Analog's. Just as a disclosure, I did not pay for any of the lights you see on this video. Both Motobox and Analog were nice enough to send me their light for me to test and review. So for conflict of interest and whatnot reason, I will not be recommending which light is better, but rather my intention through this review is to lay out the facts and the observations I've made and leave it up to you to decide on which is best for you. And honestly, everyone has different needs, budget, and preference, and etc. So it's pretty hard for me to make a recommendation on what would be best for you. So it'd be best if you decided yourself. Before I go into the comparison, let me just show you what the update is on the Motobox's FEK. This is a light I got a little over a year ago from Motobox, and it made such a big difference from non-LED kit I had. This is full LED with integrated turn signal, so you don't need to add an extra light. The main difference between the old and the new one is that just got released is the shape. The old one was just a single curve, which didn't fit perfectly to the shape of the cowl. But now it's bent to the shape of the Thruxton's cowl, and it's about 2 inches or 5 centimeters longer than the old one. From the top down view you can see the obvious difference. So then that's pretty much it, and I won't go into more detail about it. On the left is Motobox and right is Analog. And to make it easier to distinguish, I'll add their logo for your convenience. Let me just go through the difference between the two lights. First, and probably one of the more important information, is price. Motobox is $360 versus Analog's price of $455. And you can purchase them on their own websites. Link is on the description. So it's about $90 difference, and you can look at it as Analog taillight being 25% more expensive, or Motobox's light as being 20% cheaper than Analog's. There are installation videos available on YouTube, but both are pretty straightforward to install, but I'll post a link in the description anyway. Also, I believe they are both not DOT approved for the US users. I've had them for over a year and never had a problem with cops. Even when I've been pulled over and had cops follow me from behind, they never had issues with it. Another difference is the length of the LED strips. Motobox's LED is 9 inches or 23 centimeters for my metric friends. And Analog is a full inch longer at 10 inches or 25.5 centimeters. So you can justify the extra cost on that, as well as if you're wanting to maximize the visibility, obviously you get an extra inch on the analog. Now let's talk about the fit. Analog 3T is specifically made for Thruxtons. So the light is mounted through these outer saddle mounts under the seat. So it's not adjustable once you mount it on, but it fits perfectly to the seat cowl. On the other hand, Motobox's taillight is mounted using the center mount, and it's made so that you can slide it in and out. So you can use it with the cowl off, and also because it's adjustable, you can fit it on your Bonneville and or Thruxton. Another main difference is that Motobox comes with a Fender block-off plate. When you remove your fender, there's pretty much a hole in the rear frame of the bike, leaving your wiring, sensors, and battery exposed to whatever your rear wheel kicks up. But you actually don't have to have the block-off plate if you don't plan on riding much in the rain or wet roads and much in dirt. I made a mistake of taking my bike out to the Bonneville salt flats without the block-off plate, and it was a big mistake because the salt got all over the wiring, ECU, battery, and etc. But this is an extreme case mistake. The likelihood of you actually going out to the Bonneville salt flats is pretty rare, but still it would have helped to have the block-off plate on it. I actually haven't had the block-off plate for about 2 to 3 months now, and besides getting it dusty underneath the seat, I really haven't had much of an issue. But again, if you ride a lot in the rain or you plan to, then you definitely should take this into consideration. You can probably tell just by looking at it, but Analog definitely has the better build quality. It's a single piece and seamlessly built. You don't also see wires sticking out, and the frames are thicker compared to Motobox's light. As you can see with Motobox, you have this exposed wire, and I'm worried that every time I hold it or I'm installing it, it'll just rip off. Also, Motobox has 2 pieces, so you have to screw the license plate mount, and also you have to make sure that you don't screw through this wire when you're mounting the plate bracket, which is a little weird feature, and you have to be pretty careful when you do that. So far I haven't had any problem with it because the older model had the exact same exposed wiring, so over the last year I've been using it. I haven't seen any problems, but it's still a concern. Fortunately, Motobox comes with a lifetime warranty, so I'm sure if for some reason it gets damaged while it's on your bike, you can get it fixed or replaced. Analog also comes with a lifetime warranty. So now I've actually prepared a video of the lights on the bikes and a side-by-side brightness test comparison. In the video, I currently have the Analog 3T installed, which I've had it on for the last 3 months. And I apologize for the shakiness of the video. My gimbal was having some issues. As you can see, the fit of the Analog 3T to the cowl is just amazing. You can't even tell if the light is there when it's off. And it looks like it was customized to fit just this bike. Also from below, you can see the license plate light. Now without the seat cowl, you can clearly tell how much the analog light sticks out of the seat. About an inch or 3 centimeters or a third of your index finger. And you really can't do much about it. Once you take the seat off, this is what it looks like from underneath the seat. And this is a hole I mentioned that's there once you remove the fender. Without the block-off plate, this is just a wide open hole, leaving your sensors, wiring, and batteries and whatnot exposed. Now I'm going to install the Motobox taillight, but it's nice to clean your bike first. This is the block-off plate and where it goes. The installation is pretty simple, and you only want to bolt the front end side first, like this in the video, and leave the rear mount unscrewed, because you have to mount the light together with it. Like analog, it's just a simple plug-in, and that's it. Once you put the seat back on, you can clearly see that Motobox's fit is much better without the cowl. Look underneath, you can see that wire that's exposed. Again, however big of a concern that is, I don't know. From the top, it's pretty clear that the light doesn't stick out as much, or nearly as much. With the cowl, this is what it looks like from the side, with the light pushed all the way back. But because it's adjustable, you can pull the light out like this. You can pull it out so that it perfectly aligns to the end of the cowl. Also, I think there's a gap between the cowl and the light, which you see in the video, because I didn't tighten the bolt. Next, I get a lot of questions on which light is brighter, so I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of the light brightness. I intentionally shot the video you're about to see in the dark because it's easier to see the brightness of the light in the dark. I tried shooting it in the daylight, but just couldn't get the same effect on the video. But in person, the light is very visible in full afternoon daylight, so if you're concerned about it, you really shouldn't be. Obviously, there are limitations to visibility compared to a full DOT approved taillight, but that's a risk you have to be willing to take for something like this. Also, both taillights were shot with the exact same camera setting and have not been post-edited, so what you see for both should be pretty comparable. First is a view from the rear, and it's pretty sweet how it looks from the back. Clearly tell that the analog is a bit longer from behind than the Motobox is. First testing out the indicator, left and right, then brake light. The brake light also works while the turn signals are on. Next from the side. Although the analog light is about an inch longer, the indicator strip length is about the same as Motobox's. Top-down view of both lights. So far, you probably can't really tell which light is brighter except when you're braking. Let me freeze this top-down view to show you what I mean. Both have the brake lights on now, and you can see that the cowl paint strip is more visible with analog's taillight than Motobox's seen below. Now, I'm not sure how this translates into visibility on the streets, but I think it's fair to say that analog's light is a bit brighter than Motobox's. I don't know if this is because analog has an extra inch of more lights, or if it's because they use a better quality LEDs. Your guess is as good as mine. So I think I've covered all the key parts of the two LED lights, or at least all the questions I usually get on these two products. So let me just recap the main differences between the two. Analog motorcycle's taillight is $455, $90 more expensive than Motobox's $365. They both come with installation videos. They're both not DOT approved. Analog's taillight is 1 inch longer at 10 inches or 25.5 centimeters compared to 9 inches and 23 centimeters. Analog's light is primarily for Thruxton, whereas Motobox, because it's adjustable, you can install it for your Thruxton, Bonneville, and Scrambler. They're both plug and play, very easy to install. Analog does not come with a block-off plate, but Motobox's light does. They both have integrated turn signals, and they also both have lifetime warranty. Now again, there are the facts and observations I've made. I really can't recommend as to which light is best for you, but I hope I've been informative enough for you to make your own decision. And if you have any further questions or comments, please feel free to email me at contact@sideroist.com or just comment and ask questions below. Thank you. Have a good day.